here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I barely hear me talking. I don't hear myself talking, but thank you for being here. Let's talk, first of all, because you're in town for a Gigant tour.
Right.
It's tonight at Bell Center. But you were yesterday in Quebec City.
Right.
And it's actually the first stop of the Gigant tour in Quebec City, because you weren't there in the past editions. What were you expecting when you came in town yesterday in Quebec City?
Well, it's for us going into the French-speaking part of Canada. They, I think, respect the fact that we have a song that has some French lyrics in it. So that's fun to be able to, come into a place where they actually understand what I'm saying in that part. You don't know how many times I've had to tell people what that means. But the other thing too is the Canadian. You think that's funny, huh? Try doing it 5 million times. Plus, the metal audience in Canada is just superb up here. I know that they know what they like, and many bands come to Canada, so they're very discriminating, and we're honored to be able to be held in their esteem. Plus, we have a Canadian drummer, so we're part Canadian now.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of À Tout le Monde, there was the reviews in the papers this morning from Quebec City were amazing. They were all talking about an amazing show, and they talked about this moment where it was actually a touching moment when you were talking, you're singing with the audience, and everybody was singing along.
We were all touching each other, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody was touching each other. It was all a huge hug on the floor, but it was actually a great show. And tonight at the Bell Center, and this year killer lineup once again.
Yeah, thanks.
With Eye on Fire, A Jump for a Cowboy. You've got the Children of Bottom and In Flames, and of course Megadeth playing. What do you look for when you choose a band that are going to do the tour?
Well, Gigant is about having guitar players, and we went through a period about 10 years in the music industry where people didn't play guitar solos. Well, because they couldn't, and they sucked, so they didn't, and we had to listen to records that didn't have solos. And for me, I'm a guitar player that likes to play guitar, and I like to do solos, and that's how I grew up listening to music that had solos. So a lot of the bands that are on Gigantor are comprised of guitar wunderkinds, like really established guitar players. With this year's Gigantor, of course, we have Chris who's playing with us, and you've got the guitar players, and Children of Bodom are amazing guitar players. And then you have a different approach with the power of the guitar, like when they're using it in High on Fire, for example. It's a three-piece. Reminds me a lot of Motorhead. I don't know if you guys have heard those guys, but I think it's a great band. And Job for a Cowboy is an extreme metal type band, like when we took Dillinger Escape Plan out a couple years ago.
Good. I'm going to translate a little bit for the viewers at home, because we're speaking about not understanding what people were saying. Alors, Dave qui me parlait justement du spectacle d'hier à Québec, vraiment que ça s'est très, très bien passé. Il dit, c'est bien de chanter justement dans une partie où les gens parlent français, parce que quand on fait la chanson à tout le monde, ben, les gens comprennent, et j'ai pas besoin d'expliquer 5 millions de fois ce que ça veut dire, parce qu'il a fait ça dans sa carrière. Les gens trouvaient ça drôle. Il dit, ouais, essayez de le faire 5 millions de fois, vous allez voir que ça change un peu. Et là, on a parlé justement du Gigant Tour avec tous les groupes qui sont justement sur l'alignement. Il dit, ben, nous, ce qu'on veut, c'est des groupes où il y a des gens qui savent jouer de la guitare, qui sont capables de faire des solos, pas des gens qui juste font... Parce qu'on a passé une période musicale où les gens jouaient pas de solos.
Très bon.
Parce qu'ils étaient pas bons, puis ils étaient pas capables de le faire. Et maintenant, c'est ce qu'on cherche quand on choisit les bandes pour le Gigant Tour. Donc, lui, c'est ce qu'il recherche dans la musique, et il est très content de pouvoir faire ça ce soir.
Dave, you've been in this business almost forever, for 25 years. Megadeth started in 1983. You've sold over 20 million albums, but it did change a lot in the band, but also in your personal life. Was it hard for you to keep it going on strong like that?
No, not really. I think a lot of it is just determination. The music industry changed a lot, but I don't think that I really did. There was times when, you have to make changes, like with people in the band. We had some problems with just not getting along. 4 people, that's 4 different individuals, and you're not always going to agree. And usually when someone leaves, they blame me and say, I'm a bad guy. Well, if a guy's stealing my guitars to sell them for heroin, you know what, you're not going to be in the band very long.
That's for sure.
So, that was part of the problem with us going over the years. But, for now, I think that we've got when Sean joined the band, it was pretty much what we needed again for excitement, because he's got such a great personality. And we had a change with the bass player we had when I came out of retirement. We had a guy that played with Iced Earth, and he was temporary. We found this bass player that was with Zach Wilde. James Lomenzo, I don't know if you know who he is. Great bass player, and he's an ambassador. So we have this connection. And then, unfortunately, Glenn retired, he wanted to stay home with his son, which is very noble to me. I grew up. My kids grew up from a distance. You know, I sacrificed being at home to be out on the road. And Glenn's at home. We found a new guitar player, which is great. Right now, I think this is the best period in Megadeth's time, and I can't wait to get into the studio and make a new record.
And looking back at whatever happened in your life, in Megadeth's career, we can say, do you regret something, or are you happy about whatever happened?
Yeah, there's things I regret. I regret going to jail a couple times. Yeah. You know, that wasn't fun. and I regret punching somebody in the mouth. Only one of them, but you know, there's some things that happen, and you have to do it. You know, there's things that I did were wrong and I'm not sorry about, and there's things that I did I'm sorry about, but I wasn't wrong.
Okay, so I'll translate for the French viewers at home. Good luck again, yeah. OK, donc, plusieurs choses qui s'est dites ici. Je parlais beaucoup du fait qu'il y a 25 ans de carrière tout de même, plus de 20 millions d'albums vendus. Est-ce qu'il y a des choses qu'il regrette? Est-ce que ça a été dur pour lui de continuer tout le temps? Il dit non. Je veux dire, ce sont des passionnés de musique. Il y a eu plusieurs changements au niveau des guitaristes, des bassistes aussi. Mais à chaque fois qu'ils ont changé, c'est vraiment pour une raison. Il dit, quand le monde part, on dit, ah, Dave, il est pas fin, c'est le méchant, on l'aime pas, mais en même temps, tout le monde quitte pour une certaine raison. Puis, je veux dire, c'est comme ça la vie, je pense.
Puis en fait, on dit quand tu vas vendre des guitares pour t'acheter de l'héroïne, peut-être qu'on va te kicker dehors du band. C'est peut-être une des raisons.
Ça peut arriver.
Il y a certaines choses qu'il a fait qu'il regrette aussi dans sa vie, mais il dit il y a des choses qu'il regrette pas du tout non plus. Il dit, aller en prison, je le regrette, mais il y a d'autres choses que je suis pas mal en paix avec ce que j'ai vécu dans ma vie.